Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
If you can, survive! It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and sitting right next to me is my brother Tommy. How's it going?
I'm doing good.
And Tommy, look at this. He's back. Our good brother from Pro Wrestling 101 on Instagram. It's Richard. How's it going, man?
It's going really well, Daniel. How are you doing, Tommy?
I'm good.
We're doing awesome now, seeing your face once again. You were feeling a little under the weather last week.
I broke my neck.
Okay, can we talk about that? Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't care.
So, your neck was...
I woke up on Saturday and couldn't move. So,
the description you were telling me, it's like someone dropped you, right?
Like a spine buster.
I texted Danny, and I told him it felt like someone gave me a sit-down tombstone pile driver, and now my neck is like a stack of dimes. So, Saturday and Sunday last week, I was in bed with a heating pad on both those days.
Well, glad you're feeling a little bit better now. I know your neck is not like 100%. You still kind of move like a little bit like an owl, right? You're like,
yeah. I can move without having to move my whole body. So,
okay, there you go.
I went to go get pain medicines last week, and when I was crossing the street, I had to look like that.
It moved your whole body.
I had to move. I couldn't turn my head. My head was stationary.
Yeah, and what sucks, I told you, privately in text, when my neck was hurting. It sucks when you're trying to back, in a car and you have to look back.
Yeah.
And you have to how can you turn your whole neck?
Yeah.
You have to turn your whole body.
That's what I do for work.
I know. And so just driving a car sucks because then you can't really move your neck and look around. So you're obviously using your mirrors a lot more. So
the listeners are probably wondering what I do for work. I'm a NASCAR driver, so just putting that out there on Front Street.
There you go. So here we are back at it for another episode of In The Kliq. We're going to talk some NXT. We're going to talk some SmackDown. And here we are. We are on the last stretch, the home stretch of the road to WrestleMania. Next week's going to be a busy week. We got the go home show for Raw. We got the Hall of Fame. We got NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, Night 1, Night 2. Special edition of SmackDown. It's going to be called a WrestleMania SmackDown. WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 on the weekend. We got Raw the following week, the Fallout episode from WrestleMania. The night after WrestleMania, that's always a big show for them. And the first episode of NXT on Tuesday night. Actually, Richard, I haven't had a chance to ask you your thoughts on NXT officially moving to Tuesdays starting next week.
Oh, dude, they lost the war. What a bunch of losers. No. Oh, God, they're on a multi-billion-dollar platform. Dumb. I'm very happy that I won't have to hear those stupid comments anymore. So, doesn't matter to me. I watch everything on delay anyway, so I'm pleased no matter what. Yeah,
for me, it's actually a blessing in disguise because I like to live tweet, and therefore it makes it a lot easier when it's just one show a night instead of two. So it's 4 hours and trying to watch everything, and it just makes my nights a lot easier. Could watch one show and then watch other stuff that I'm interested in watching, like watching The Flash and other TV shows. I know, Richard, you're a big Columbo fan, so it gives you more time to watch Columbo.
Check out my podcast, Finding Columbo, available wherever podcasts are available.
So, for me, it doesn't matter. And that's the thing. It's this whole war thing. It didn't really make sense. I get it. Two different companies going at it on the same night. I get that aspect of it, but we're in 2021. People watching, as you just said, on delay. A lot of people watch DVR. They DVR it, watch it later, they stream it.
That's the thing, because AEW is not on Hulu, correct?
No, it's I mean, they have the TNT app and everything is on there.
Who has that though?
I use the TNT app. I love it.
But all of WWE programming's on Hulu, so it does make sense that I'm going to watch this one live because I know I can watch the other one, within a couple hours. Or an hour, or whatever it is. So
and plus, Impact is moving to Thursdays.
Yeah, so Impact will be on Thursdays.
Oh yeah, they're really going to pick up ratings on Thursdays, aren't they?
Well, no, Richard, Tommy, don't you guys realize there's a new war, the Tuesday Night Wars, NXT versus NWA Power?
Well, MLW's always been on Wednesdays as well, so
yeah.
So it's gonna be MLW versus AEW on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
Impact by themselves on Thursday.
Yeah.
So, dude, so much, like I said, so much wrestling. Like I said, for me personally, I'm so happy to move into Tuesdays. It's just, it's gonna be interesting because there's a lot of podcasts out there and YouTube shows that focus on the Wednesday Night Wars. So a lot of people are gonna have to change up the formalities of their podcast now, and
I should start live tweeting when I decide to watch something. So it's always late, but I'll tweet as I'm watching. No, it'll be like 4 or 5 days later for Raw. So for like 3 hours, you'll get these Raw updates on a Friday or a Saturday.
Man, Bobby Lashley, I can't believe he did that. It's like 5 days
old. You guys
old.
believe that? Who saw that coming? What a maneuver.
So it's for me personally, I'm just super happy. It just makes my life a little bit easier, and just recapping stuff and reviewing stuff and tweeting, all that. It
was not a war.
No. Well, I mean, Eric Bischoff brought up a good point. I listened to his interview with Chris Van Fleet, and he said, listen, back then you had 2 A shows, Raw versus Nitro.
They dominated the rating.
Yeah, they had like over 10 million viewers each, and it was like the A shows, these superstars and wrestlers that everyone knows and loves.
Yeah, but it wasn't like Raw's beating Nitro or Nitro's beating Raw. It's Raw and Nitro are dominating everything on television.
Yeah.
That night.
And then NXT, NXT is like WWE's 3rd show versus AEW's only show.
But think about that in today's context. Mm-hmm. They're beating Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good Nitro and Raw did in ratings.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
it's just a different era. And even Vince Russo, I listened to his interview with Chris Van Fleet as well.
I did too.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, he doesn't think it was a Wednesday Night War to the extent that people think. It wasn't like the Attitude Era.
It's always funny to hear Vince on a podcast like that where he's not friends with someone, because he comes across as very charming. And then when you listen to his content on his podcast network, he's a monster. Like it's there's just swearing and the bros, and then sometimes he's found God and sometimes he hasn't. And he's a very complicated person.
Yeah, because I was fascinated to listen. I don't know much about Vince Russo. I know he's a very polarizing figure from his time in wrestling.
He's probably the most polarizing figure.
Yeah, so I was really interested to listen to this interview to kind of learn more about him. And they touched a little bit about his time before wrestling, but just it was focused on what he did. And he had really interesting, I think, viewpoints about what he thinks makes a successful wrestling TV show. And how
he's right about it, though.
Yeah, how he gets the average listener to tune in, or fan, I should say.
Russo and Cornette are very similar in the that they are both people that are polarizing, but they clearly know what they're like. Russo knows how to put a show together top to bottom, probably better than most people. Mm-hmm. And Cornette knows what people actually want to see and how to get there. And both of them just have these personalities where they can't shut the F up. And like they could both be working somewhere right now. Mm-hmm. And it was like Russo gave Impact or TNA at the time like a 1.5 rating or 1.3 consistently when they moved over to Spike TV. Mm-hmm. And when they let him go, you can see the ratings go down and down and down and down. And they've never gone up since he left. Mm-hmm. So like I don't. To me, it's funny because I can remember a specific Impact where the fans started chanting "F Vince Russo" because they thought he wrote something that they didn't like on TV, and he wasn't working at the company at the time. So it's like, to me, like, wrestling fans, base your opinions based off of your opinion, not others. So,
yeah,
like,
and I really enjoy Vince Russo as far as what he explained how to make a very compelling episode of television. It's like you start off with the promo. That's your storyline, and that's going to be the ongoing story throughout the episode of like Raw, let's say. You start with the promo, then you check again backstage later in the night, and then it pays off in the main event. That's the ongoing story. Then you have your B storyline, your C storyline happening throughout the episode as well. So I really enjoyed hearing them break it down like that. And
do you agree with it?
What's that?
Do you agree with it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as far as how to get me in and watch the storyline, he was like, he was explaining how you get people emotionally involved in these characters, these wrestlers, and want to tune in throughout the episode. The storytelling, the matches itself is a whole separate thing, how these guys perform in the ring. But the actual story, that's what he was really concerned about. And he brought up a good point. He's like, in the last couple of years, fans, want better matches and stuff. And it's like, sure, WWE can book two guys who could put on a 5-star match, but if there's no compelling storyline to it, no one's going to care. And I'm really glad he brought that up in that interview with Chris Van Fleet. It was it's true. Because remember when the McMahons came out a couple years ago and says, you're the authority now. And so they're trying to do fresh matchups and stuff. And yeah, sure, you throw these guys together who were great in NXT or whatever. But if there's no compelling storyline there, that one match, sure, it's great, but it's not going to last. That's going to get you to the next pay-per-view. So I really enjoyed that aspect of hearing him explain where he comes from a writer's standpoint. So it was really cool to hear that. So, but yeah, here we are. Like I said, just on the road to WrestleMania. So much to get into. We're going to do our best to document all of it over the next week and a half, all the major shows and recap Hall of Fame, all that stuff. So obviously, please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform and follow us on social media, inthetliq@gmail.com. So for tonight's episode, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a little bit role reversal, I guess you could say. We're going to start with...
I'm going to be Baby Huey.
Yeah.
Tommy is going to be me. And Danny, you're going to be Tommy. Yeah. I had to think about that. Got a Steve Weiser in my hand.
It's like, hey, how's it going? Hey, Richard. Come on, Tommy, do your best Richard impression.
Columbo.
Hey.
So we're going to talk SmackDown first, talk about some of the highlights from there, and then we're going to talk about NXT, and then we'll give our predictions at the very end for TakeOver. So for SmackDown this week, one big thing that was announced at the top of the show was next Friday is going to be a WrestleMania SmackDown. More or less, it's going to be matches that were probably equivalent to like on the kickoff show, but instead of happening night one before the main show starts, these matches are going to happen on Friday night, and there's a little bit method to that madness.
SmackDown is Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah. That's what's starting it too. So a couple things. Let me see. Okay, so this episode of SmackDown, I really felt was like the go home episode for WrestleMania based on what happened here, and we'll go over those highlights in a second. Because next Friday, they're treating that more like the kickoff episode of WrestleMania. The reason behind that is, so rumor going around online is, so night one of WrestleMania, keep in mind, WrestleMania is going to be the first time WWE is back in front of a live audience in over a year. So 25,000 people each night. It's a big deal to them. And so I think they don't want to ruin that initial pop, that loud explosion from the audience, the applause on a kickoff match. They want it to have more meaning for whoever walks out for the very first time in front of that live audience. So therefore, no kickoff matches on night one. And this also comes off a tweet from WrestleVotes, was hearing something interesting. WWE may not feature a match on the WrestleMania kickoff show for night one, as the first entrance back in front of fans is being looked as a huge deal. Not decided at all, but definitely a conversation happening within creative. So that's what a lot of people are kind of speculating. Who's
if
going to be?
If you put it to me that way, I didn't even think about it that way. If you put it to me that way, you almost want to put Bobby Lashley and Drew on first, don't you? Like, we talked about this before we started recording, but like the way you just put it, I feel like you have to put the title match first.
So this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. Keep in mind, Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil are the hosts of WrestleMania. So maybe they're going to be the first ones to walk out in front of the audience live for the very first time. So, dun, 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 dun. That's going to be the first thing you hear in front of a live crowd. You can see Hogan flexing, getting Hulkamaniacs pumped up. That's what I imagine is probably going to happen. In my heart, I think we talked about this in the past. I always thought maybe Drew McIntyre should have been the one to walk out in front of a crowd for the first time. What's that?
Hold on, brother.
Okay, hold on, brother.
Whoa. Hold on, dude. What? Are we getting Hulk Hogan or are we getting Hollywood, brother?
Oh, NWO for life. He was going to Hall of Fame this week, or next week, I should say, as well.
I'm hoping we get that black beard.
He's going to die. So with that being said, I imagine the safe bet is going to be Hogan and Titus O'Neil coming out for the very first time, saying, hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I think
they want to avoid the mixed reactions with Hogan for maybe right after the match.
Absolutely true. Very, very strong point. So, yeah, do they start out with just a match, straight into a match? Or this is an idea I have. Remember, when 9/11 happened, the first SmackDown after 9/11? Vince McMahon came out with the entire roster on stage. Now, granted, that was obviously a big tragedy, historical event. This is a little bit different. It's a pandemic. It's historical. But I thought maybe a little bit more of a compromise is you have the entire WWE roster come out on stage, have Vince McMahon standing in front of them, and welcomes the entire crowd there. Everyone watching on TV on Peacock welcomes everyone and says his catch line, "Welcome to WrestleMania." Like, that's, I think, would be kind of cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's always good.
Yeah, so, because, Stephanie McMahon kind of carried tradition last year, and she said, "Welcome to WrestleMania." So, maybe Vince can do it. Like, Tommy, which one was it?
I'd be good with Vince, Stephanie, or Triple H.
Yeah.
Ooh, what if Triple H come out and did Are You Ready?
Are you ready?
That could work.
No, Tommy, what was the one where Vince had the tux and the red tie, bow tie, and says, "Welcome to WrestleMania"?
Well, that was at WrestleMania 3.
That was 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he comes out in the same suit. Comes out like that.
Well, he also said...
he has that suit anymore.
Well, WrestleMania 2, he also introduced
the crowd
and all that.
Okay, so that's what I'm thinking.
But that was at the Nassau Coliseum in New York.
Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. Like, that's a good compromise. You get the whole roster out there, and he says, "Welcome, everyone," and then they leave, and then you have the first match. Now, with the first match, do you go with like a banger? Do you go with the WWE Championship? That's, up in the air. I mean, we could speculate, to we're blue in the face of who can it be. I mean, I kind of like your idea, Richard. Maybe you go with the WWE Championship first, and then Bianca Belair and Sasha can headline at the end.
If you think about it, it would be really cool if Drew McIntyre got that first pop.
Yeah.
Considering the match over like the last year and his WrestleMania match last year. But that's interesting too, because then you would have Sasha and Bianca headline night one of this year.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And, they put, remember, was it a couple years ago in New York, the Universal match, Seth and Brock opened up
that was the first one.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have no problem putting like a big championship to start the show.
I don't have a problem with that.
And so, in Drew, since he is the challenger and the babyface, he would be first to come out. So maybe, he could be the one to welcome everyone. And he deserves it. He's been champion for the majority of the pandemic year. And so I really want to see him get that big crowd reaction. So,
of course.
All that said. So with that being said, like I said, SmackDown next week. Next Friday, like I said, a special WrestleMania edition of SmackDown on April 9th. So far, what's teased for that show is Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge will address the WWE Universe probably some last bit of promos before their triple threat match that weekend. There's going to be a SmackDown Fatal 4-Way for the Tag Team Championship. It's going to be, the Dirty Dogs, Dolph and Robert Roode taking on Street Profits, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, and Otis and Chad Gable. And there's going to be the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and there's a full list of all 20
competitors. That's going to be on SmackDown?
Yes, so those 3 segments are currently scheduled for this Friday.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
So, it's
good to get those out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, those are matches you would probably see on the kickoff show anyway.
So we're probably going to get some Raw people for that Battle Royal, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a full list. I mean, I can run it down if you want. It's kind of long.
Do it fast.
Okay,
I got it. Go.
Akira Tozawa, Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, Elias, Eric, Grand Metalik, Humberto Carrillo, Jackson Riker, Jey Uso, Kalisto, King Corbin, Lindsay Dorado, Mace, Murphy, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Shelton Benjamin, Shinsuke Nakamura, Slapjack, T-Bar, and Tucker. Remember him? Tucker?
Nakamura.
Yeah, Nakamura's probably going to win it. Yeah,
I'm picking Nakamura.
Yeah, he's been the book strongest out of everyone in that group.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if Uso wins it.
Yeah, Jey Uso could be a strong contender as well.
It's weird that he doesn't have a match.
Yeah.
I mean, would he come out with Roman in the main event?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, part of me, I'm a little bummed out that all these people in this match and the tag match are not going to be involved in the actual WrestleMania weekend.
The people that have matches at WrestleMania this year, I feel like they have the strongest momentum for a WrestleMania match. Like I get it. Like it really is unfortunate that we don't have something for Bayley right now, but there's nothing for Bayley right now.
Or Charlotte. So, Charlotte, that's a whole nother issue of what
you never know what could happen on Monday.
Exactly.
So that could change on Monday.
But yeah, Bayley and Charlotte are like the 2 big names that don't have anything booked for WrestleMania so far, and that's who knows? Something could happen last minute.
Hey, it happens.
But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are a little upset that everyone involved in all these matches are not going to be involved in the actual WrestleMania week in front of the live crowd. This is all going to be done at the Thunderdome. And actually, to be honest, if you can avoid spoilers, because this was actually filmed a couple days ago already inside the Thunderdome. So, I mean, I see it as just a big preview next Friday of last minute people to subscribe to Peacock, turn into Peacock this weekend, watch WrestleMania. So this episode of SmackDown is going to be one big ad for Peacock TV. That's how I envision it. I'm kind of thinking maybe Rey and Dominic are probably going to win, father and son, to win SmackDown tag titles. That's my early prediction. But I'm a little bummed that big moment is not going to be in front of a crowd. It's going to be just in front of the Thunderdome TV screens. But it's still going to be on a big stage, everyone tuning in on Friday, and it's going to get people to tune in on WrestleMania as well. So they're kind of helping the company out in that sense. So that's a big opportunity for them. I don't know, but I'm still a little bummed.
I think it would benefit SmackDown to have either Rey and Dominic win the belts or have Tucker and Gable win the belts, just because I feel like both of those teams are good teams. But Otis. Sorry. I think it kind of helps legitimize them as a tag team right now, because I think people are sleeping on the teams that haven't had belts, including the women's division right now. Mm-hmm. So it's funny to me that people are so hot about Nia and Shayna having the belts for this long, and that they're not a real tag team and blah, blah, blah. And it's well, they're trying to build them up to WrestleMania where someone's going to beat them. It's probably going to be the Riot Squad. So
yeah, and we'll get into that in a second as well, because I'm curious how that's going to play out. They haven't announced anything yet, but for me also, like I said, as much as I'm bummed that all these people are not going to be on WrestleMania weekend, keep in mind, though, back in the day when we grew up in WrestleMania, not everyone made the card.
Yeah.
You had to earn that. And, they went with the big names. People, as you said, with the most momentum were featured on the card. In the past, the last few years, WrestleMania has been very clunky as far as they try to fit everyone on the card. And you get all these fatal four-ways or triple threats, fatal four-ways. And it's I'm more traditional. I like one-on-one matches.
I'd rather not see them on there and maybe make it up to those people at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, back in the day, they didn't force everyone on the roster on the show. You had to earn your spot. Yeah. And so, unfortunately, these matches are just not, at the time, worth the time on the actual WrestleMania weekend. So it's just the luck of the draw. I'll still tune in, obviously, on SmackDown and, support and watch it. So if anything, give SmackDown that extra ratings bump next Friday and, tune in and see what happens. I'm sure there's going to be a major title change. That's probably going to happen. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But speaking of SmackDown specifically this week, the big story is obviously just a continuation of building up the drama and the storyline for the triple threat match for the main event for WrestleMania Night 2. Richard, I know you weren't on last week, but last week's episode of SmackDown, they officially announced Adam Pearce said Daniel Bryan will be part of the triple threat for WrestleMania against Edge and Roman. I mean, Daniel had a good point. He's like, hey, I made Roman tapped out at Fastlane. I deserve an opportunity to face him again, and he's willing to fight him, and had all these different scenarios of how to work at WrestleMania weekend, but Adam Pearce ultimately decided, let's go with the triple threat. So what are your thoughts on just now a triple threat match with all three of these guys?
I like it. I think it's better than an alternative. I think this is the best case scenario. Plus, it makes it a lot more intriguing because right now it doesn't. Right now, unless Brock were to come back, no one's beaten Roman one-on-one. And
yeah,
I feel like Daniel Bryan. I mean, you can make an argument for all three of them. Mm-hmm. You could easily say that Roman Reigns is in such a place right now that you don't want to take the belts on him. Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan can create that Daniel Bryan hype out of thin air. And then you've got Edge, that's just a fan favorite, and people that might not have been watching wrestling might watch Edge. So,
yeah, it's really interesting because, as you said, Daniel Bryan, adding him to this storyline, it's been really a fun, big boost of energy, a whole new dynamic that's really been engaging for me to watch, per se. Now there's the opportunity. Are we going to maybe get a reenactment of WrestleMania 30 here? Potentially. Kind of very similar storyline. He's the red hot babyface. Edge, a lot of people are saying, oh, he's a heel now. I was like, no, I think he's more of a tweener. He's more just frustrated at the situation here. He still wants to take out Roman, but he's mad at Daniel Bryan for inserting himself into his match that he won the opportunity for at Royal Rumble.
And you can tell by looking or kind of reading Edge's face that he knows that Daniel Bryan's points are right.
Yeah,
like he knows it, but it's just like he knows that he's also losing a percentage of his win value. Like
Tom and I were doing Steiner math the other day.
Yeah, exactly.
You had a 33% chance of winning.
33% chance.
But since I'm the best person in the ring, I like to make it more of a 75% chance. Wherever the whole
Samoa Joe's a fat ass.
One of the all-time greats. I hope his nephew Bronson Steiner does a similar promo at some point in his career.
I hope so. He's got to. If his dad's Rick Steiner and his uncle Scott, like he's going to be a mean promo. Hopefully, it's politically incorrect and Scott Steiner, circa 1998.
Oh my God, dude, that's.
If any of you listeners are newer to this podcast, just go to Peacock and watch any Scott Steiner from 1998, where they're probably bleeped off on the network now.
Well, you can find them on YouTube.
YouTube.
But he was calling people that were terms that you can't use now.
Exactly.
Mentally handicaed people.
Yeah.
The R word. And, yeah.
So,
and the other F word.
Yeah, it was crazy. So
the best him going out of the ring and finding some attractive woman in the crowd and telling the man that he's going to take his woman. What are you going to do about it? I got the largest arms in the world, Jack.
Oh my God, I cannot wait for Bronson to make his debut. But for Edge, this week on SmackDown, Edge comes out, cuts a great promo. I really enjoyed this promo. He more or less said he looked in the mirror and realized he is the rated R superstar again. And even the announcer said that when he came out to the ring, and says Daniel Bryan did what he's known for doing, just ultimate what's the word, ultimate
underdog,
or when you insert yourself, you find your way to get that
penetrator.
Yes.
Competitor?
The ultimate oh my God, now I'm blanking on what's the term. Let me see if it's Actions have awakened the rated R superstar. Even WWE.com doesn't have the name of it. Damn it!
Radio.
But no,
this is horrible radio.
No, but Edge sees a lot of his old school self in Daniel Bryan. Ultimate opportunist.
Opportunist.
That's the word.
That's it.
Wow.
Thank you.
This will be my last podcast.
So anything, Edge is awoken. He's got a new fire under him, and he's just super intense and energetic for this match. So what'd you think about this opening promo from Edge here?
Solid. I feel like everything Edge has done on a microphone since he's come back, and I've told you Edge was not my favorite person before this comeback. So, but I think his microphone work has been very solid, and you can tell that he's just kind of given free range just to say what he wants. But he's also been a writer the last year, so they trust him.
Exactly. And then it was also announced that Daniel Bryan will have a street fight with Jey Uso. Paul Heyman at one point went to Adam Pearce in Sonya Deville's office and asked to make sure that Jey Uso has freedom, do whatever he wants in the match, and won't get held liable for it, just to sell the point that the street fight might get really intense, out of hand. And the main event itself, Tommy and I were watching it earlier, just rewatching it. We thought it was a very good PG street fight, if that makes sense. It just, they used the chair for a bit, then they had the chain.
It's like comparing ECW hardcore wrestling with a WWF hardcore match from back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid main event. I mean, they use a couple weapons, like I said, the steel chair and the chain. Ultimately, Daniel Bryan used the chain in the elbow and pounded Jey Uso in the face, and then submitted Jey Uso and won the match. And then right after, he drop kicks Edge, who's doing commentary, and then goes after Roman Reigns, who's sitting at the top of the ramp, and puts him in his submission hold. And so Daniel Bryan stood very tall at the end of this episode. So, Daniel Bryan looked awesome, badass here, just taking out all of his competitors. So it's gonna be tough, man, to make a prediction for this main event here. I need some more time to think about it. We also saw the 4 tag teams that we mentioned earlier go at it. That was good. Just preview for a reminder to watch the kickoff show next week. I was gonna ask you about this whole Seth Rollins and Cesaro feud going on here. The main thing is Seth Rollins, who's basking in his success and rubbing in Cesaro's face that Cesaro has not achieved anything as a singles competitor, and it's a big moment for him. It's his first singles match at WrestleMania. While I like the dynamic of heel and babyface here, I just wish Cesaro would do a better job on the microphone, and the only thing he seems to focus on is just swinging Seth Rollins. That's it. I'm like, come on, man, give me some more passion of like what it means to kick Seth Rollins' ass. I don't know. What do you think, Richard, about this whole feud going on?
I'm fine with it. I think this is like, I don't know. You remember when they had that little storyline with Mandy Rose and Naomi over the Uso that she's married to? I don't remember.
Oh yeah. Jimmy.
Okay. It's like that, where this is just kind of a little, like, the story itself is a nothing to get to something better. And okay. I think like WWE in particular needs some more of stuff like this, where you can take something that's kind of a throwaway storyline that's for a couple of weeks or whatever, and then get to a match, because like that's what this is essentially. This only happened 2-3 weeks ago, so
where it's kind of really been coming together in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I want to see more of that leading into kind of every pay-per-view or a bigger night of a Raw or SmackDown. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, so I really want to see Cesaro win, though. Get a big win.
Seth Rollins had a pretty sweet suit on.
That purple suit, man. He was drip, as they say, the cool kids say.
Whatever that means.
I have no idea. It's just dripping with oozeness, goodness. Swag.
This is getting weird.
We also saw Apollo challenge Big E to a Nigerian drum fight. No idea what that is. I'm guessing that's some sort of hardcore match where they use weapons. I'm guessing. I don't know. So we'll see how that plays out. Bianca Belair defeated Carmella. Sasha tried to come in and do the bank statement on her, but Bianca countered, and then Sasha ran out of the ring and just stared down each other.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I thought, okay, 2 things. two things. Tell me if I'm wrong here. Like, Sasha and Bianca are face to face. Sasha doesn't attack Bianca because Bianca points at the sign. Like, she's moments away from attacking her, but then she stops it. Okay, I respect that. Bullshit. You should have hit her. Point number 2 is if Seth Rollins and Cesaro are so mad at each other, how can they stand in the same ring without touching each other for an in-ring interview? Like, I hate that.
A grudge, yeah.
Like, what happened to the guy standing on the ramp? Like, and then the other guy's in the ring. Like,
I get it. Now, I mean, I guess for this segment, it was Corey Graves who's conducting an interview.
Week.
I know. No, you're right. Yeah, and I missed the days. Like, yeah, remember, what was it? Bret Hart would be in the ring, and Shawn Michaels and DX would come out from the ramp because they keep in like 50 yards from each other, but that's how they could talk crap because they knew they're so far away that they're not going to get to them in time if they ran off. So I'm with you. That little detail is what's missing in wrestling today. It's like
a lost art.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one's a badass anymore. Like, even Braun and Shane, like, can be in the ring at the same time. And it's just like, what? Like, this doesn't happen with Austin and Rock and Undertaker. And I don't know who's in charge of that little aspect of it, but fix it or fuck off.
A couple more things real quick just to wrap up SmackDown. So Natty defeated Shayna Baszler. It was a very quick match, like a quick roll-up. And it's like Shayna Baszler keeps losing via roll-up as of late. And I'm like, come on, Shayna. Yeah, that's her weakness, how you take her out.
You know why? R-Truth has been showing the competitors how to beat her. Change my mind.
Damn you.
Well, if I remember correctly, that's how Kairi Sane beat Shayna Baszler.
Well, she had like the neck like caught down, right?
Yeah, roll up.
Yeah. So Shayna Baszler, for someone who's an MMA fighter, doesn't know how to grapple on the mat. So, but ultimately we saw all 4 women tag teams that are like have a reason to go after the tag titles. We saw Nia doing commentary with Reginald and Shayna, so they're the current champions. But we saw Natty and Tamina. We saw the Riot Squad. We saw Naomi and Lana. And then we saw the Riot... who's the 4th tag team I'm missing here?
Naomi and Lana.
Said that one.
Naomi, Lana.
Riot Squad.
Mandy and
Rose
and Dana Brooke.
Dana Brooke, yeah.
So they're all mixing it up. So I don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to be...
I thought this is the best part of SmackDown, in my opinion.
Well, so I wonder, is it going to be like a fatal 4-way, and then the winner wins a title opportunity for the tag title?
I think it's going to be a gauntlet.
So yeah, I wonder. They haven't announced anything yet, but it could be a last minute decision. Maybe on Raw, maybe on that's WrestleMania SmackDown, or it could be part of the kickoff show for WrestleMania Night 2. Who knows? So we'll see how it goes. But I have a feeling Nia. My guess is Lana and Naomi will probably win and then beat Nia and Shayna, because Lana and Nia have history together with all the table spots, and that could be a feel-good moment at WrestleMania that their baby faces win and become new tag champions. That's just a guess. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Last but not least, Sami Zayn, the big red carpet premiere for his trailer of his whole conspiracy. He had was it Logan Paul come out as a special guest. So they're going back and forth talking about he's had the red carpet. He pulls up. What do you think of the actual trailer itself? I enjoyed it. It was goofy.
I did. I love shit like that. Like that's like WWE's like. I know you talked about Raw this week already, but like the Bad Bunny music video thingy, like that stuff. I love. It's so bad. Like, give me Katie Vick. I love that crap. Like, it's like, I don't know. It just
Mae
tickles
Young in
me.
the hand.
Exactly. I know more about that than I should. So.
Well, okay. So I thought the trailer was goofy. It was just like cuts of Sami, just all this conspiracy.
I have a stupid fun fact for you.
Okay.
The guy who delivers Mae Young's hand is one of the creators of Metalocalypse, Tommy Blacha, who used to be one of the writers for Conan O'Brien's show.
Yeah, Metalocalypse is awesome. Yeah,
the blonde guy who's takes the hand out of Mae Young is Tommy Blacha.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen what's the band's name in
I
Metalocalypse?
told you I like those segments. I don't know.
Are they called Metalocalypse? No,
is it Metalocalypse the band? Look it up, Tommy, because Tommy,
toured as Metalocalypse.
we saw them
at
live
the-
at San Jose State Event Center.
No, we saw them at the Fox Theater.
Or something, Fox, yeah. So we've seen Metalocalypse live. Brandon Smalls, is that who the creator is? So
he just passed away, didn't he?
No, he's still alive, right? Brandon Smalls, I think. Oh man, let me double check. Brandon Small, yeah, he's still alive.
One of the writers or the artists just passed away.
Oh really? Metalocalypse here. God, what was the name of the band? Death Clock. That's what it was. Death Clock.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, we saw Death Clock live. They were awesome. Gene Hoglan was playing drums on that show.
Yeah,
so
they
it was
were great.
It was badass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Logan Paul comes out and watches the trailer. I thought it was goofy. It was a lot of just cutaways of him, Sami venting. Like, he was staring at the garbage bags. He was like, hates refs now, and they show zebras running.
The epic music and stuff. It's just, like, that's what got me.
And it was
the
cool.
music got me.
I mean, they showed like real footage just from past pay-per-views and SmackDowns, but then they had the separate camera angles from his actual cameraman. So I guess they were filming the whole time because I thought it was just a gag. Like, sorry to break kayfabe, but it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was funny. It's a fun trailer.
Is Logan Paul the guy who had some heat a few years ago for filming a dead body in the Japanese suicide forest?
Yes.
Or was that his brother Jake? I don't know. I mean,
No, that was Logan Paul.
Was Logan Paul?
So there is two of them,
There's two of them.
They're
There's
brothers.
yeah.
There's Jake and Logan Paul.
and they're both YouTube.
They both
stars.
box. I mean, they're both boxers. Wannabe boxers.
Yeah.
They're not real fighters.
Want to be boxers.
Baxes.
Boxers.
So, I mean, I love this trailer. And then, so afterwards, Sami asked Logan for his thoughts, and he's like, it was good effort. But then he says, I talked to Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens told me you're just crazy and still believe in all this conspiracy stuff, and you need to stop. And Sami got all mad and defensive. But he did say before the trailer he was going to be at WrestleMania 37. He accepted the invite. But then Kevin Owens comes out, attacks him, stuns him, and just told him, like, dude, stop this. I'm going to kick your ass until you stop acting like this crazy. So we're going to get Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Sami attacked him later in the hallway as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we know they put on great matches with one another. So this
They know each other oh so well.
This is probably going to be the biggest stage for their matchup.
Yeah, it's this generation's Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle. Like, it always delivers, but God, they've done it so many times.
That's true. It's like we've seen it so many times. At least it's been a couple years, I think, since they've done it, but still, we've seen it a lot. So this might be the final for a while at least.
Fingers crossed.
So no, a very good episode of SmackDown. Like I said, the go home episode, arguably before WrestleMania, even though they have one more episode of SmackDown, but it's going to be dedicated to all like the quote what would have been like kickoff matches. So, all right, let's move on over to this week's episode of NXT. And this was also a go home episode for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Yeah. A lot of stuff happened on this episode. We'll go through the highlights here. Yeah. First highlight, Roderick Strong. The story of Roderick Strong. One, he's dealing with Cameron Grimes, who wants to buy the IP rights to the Undisputed Era, has a t-shirt made.
Oh my God.
I mean, Roddy's just down and out on his luck.
Yeah, I mean, Richard, let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on Roderick Strong just so like depressed and upset that the Undisputed Era is done and he doesn't know what to do with himself? I enjoy that aspect. I know some people
they're critical about it.
Yeah, critical. It's like, oh, just get over it. I'm like, no, he's devoted his whole life for the last 3+ years to this group. And now they're done. I mean, it's like you are ripping a Band-Aid off like a big part of your life and you're trying to find yourself now. So I actually enjoy like this post-traumatic stress, whatever you want to call it, of dealing with this. I enjoy this aspect of it.
I do too. I think that he's probably going to have a hand in the match with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know what that hand is. If it's maybe he just comes out and beats the crap out of both of them with Bobby Fish. I don't know.
That's it. Where's Bobby Fish fall in all this? He's just like hiding out somewhere. Maybe eating
He's
fish
in a
sticks.
hyperbolic chamber, probably.
Yeah.
What was it? Fish sticks, Tommy? Matt Riddle used to say, fish sticks.
Oh, yeah. How much fish could Bobby Fish fish if Bobby Fish could fish?
Fry fish, yeah.
How much fish could Bobby Fish fry
Fish
if Bobby
sticks,
Fish could
that was
fry
from-
fish?
I
miss-
miss South Park.
I miss Matt Riddle in NXT.
Dude, he had a moment, was it this week or last week, where he
This
just
week.
zoomed in front of AJ on the scooter? Oh, my God. I had to rewind that. I was laughing so hard.
What do you think
Because
of
he called
Riddle?
him Skipper. Out of the way, Skipper.
Yes. What do
Like,
you think of-
it's not Survivor Series anymore.
Exactly, because that was last week. Yeah. What do you think of this week where he forgot his line on live TV?
I loved it.
It was great.
I mean, he comes across as like such a stoner. It's like he can't do wrong on a microphone now. Like he can flub up all he wants, and people are just going to write it off as he's high, even though
He's like
not
RVD
anymore.
all over again.
Ugh.
He's Rob Van Dam all over again.
So we see Cameron Grimes show a T-shirt that says "What crime?" It says "Crime's the system." I think
Grimes the system.
Grimes to the system.
Grimes
and it
to
has
the
like his
system.
face all over it.
Yeah.
And so Roderick's pissed off, hits him, and it leads to a match between the two of them. Good opening match between the two of them. I really enjoyed it. The main thing, Roderick Strong, like I said, is so distraught over the Undisputed Era. He sees people wearing their shirts in the crowd. He's distracted, still very sad.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we see Cameron Grimes reach for his crotch in his tights and pulls out a Undisputed Era armband. Roderick sees it, gets distracted, and Cameron Grimes was able to get the victory here.
Yeah.
So that's the big story. We see later in the night, Roderick Strong leaves early, leaves the building, so he doesn't even participate in the Battle Royal later on.
Yep.
Yeah, you brought up a good point, Richard. I think Roderick Strong is probably going to get involved maybe somehow, which kind of sucks because takeovers are known for just clean finishes. I wonder what role is he going to play. Also, Bobby Fish as well. No one's talking about him as of late. I know he's been injured. So what these other two members of Undisputed Era, what's next for them? That's the big question. And I like this story with Roderick Strong. He's going to find himself and maybe find a new character.
I'm guessing that they're probably either look. You can do it one of two ways. You can either have Roderick screw Kyle because Adam's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely. We don't know that for sure. That's speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Or Adam's not leaving and he screws Adam.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's, I mean, we could talk more about that in predictions later, but yeah, it's, Roderick Strong. He's in a really interesting spot right now. So this could be a good time for him to shine moving forward. Also real quick, it was a night of promo packages, videos. We saw Karrion Kross's training video. We saw Walter cut a great video promoting his match for Ciampa, saying he's not the man he used to be and he can't wait to kick his ass and make the ring sacred, all that stuff. Ciampa had an amazing backstage video as well.
Yeah, that
just
was
saying, listen,
one of my favorites.
yeah, I'm not the same guy in 2018, but I can go back there if I need to. The necklace is what my wife and daughter gave me before he has neck surgery.
And
so,
he hates chairs.
yeah, he hates chairs.
He just slams them everywhere.
I love the Ciampa video. And then Finn Balor even cut a video about his training, getting ready for Cross here. So, you know, I just combined it all into one. So, Richard, yeah, your takeaways just from all these video packages. Oh, and also the Prime Target video.
Yeah.
The promoting Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and their whole history. There's like a full 6-minute version on YouTube you can watch.
Yeah.
Shout out Jeremy Borash, put that together as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed the beginning of that with the cassette tape and that. It's very old school looking.
Yeah, it was great. An old microphone and just the videos of their history of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. So, yeah, just Richard, just kind of all together, your thoughts on all these great video packages from the night.
I like the Prime Target one.
Okay.
And I like the Walter one a lot. I did not like the Ciampa one at all.
Really?
I thought it was tacky. I mean, this is a guy that they've touted forever that took Johnny Gargano's wedding ring at one point at a takeover and threw it into the crowd. and now we're supposed to care that he's got a necklace. It's not even his wedding ring. It's a necklace that means something to him.
Yeah.
No, I did not like that. Also, I think I was on last week, but I hated Cole and Kyle O'Reilly's face-to-face on NXT the week prior.
The contract
I just thought
signing?
it was corny as hell. I was watching it watching it at my parents' and I was doing some laundry. Mm-hmm. And my mom was even in the room, and she was just like, "Oh my God, are they still talking?" Just like,
But did you? I noticed because when I watched those closely, and you see the security guards right there, and I see if it's one of the wrestlers or one of the signees, and I recognized one of them was one of the new signees they had, Drew Casper.
Yeah, it's always cool watching the security. That's like the future stars of like that respective promotion. So
I pay attention to those details.
Yeah. So I thought it was a lot of great video packages, just getting you hyped up for next week's takeover. Let's see.
It was a very good go home show for next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We also saw Santos Escobar come out, open challenge, took on Tyler Breeze. He wins, and then his two guys from Legado del Fantasma. Good match. They come out and they get involved. MSK comes out for the save, and then grizzled young veterans are on the big screen.
Yep.
It's just promoting their triple threat match to become the new tag title
winners. Tag team champions.
Everything you just described is just one thing after another. It's just very Attitude Era-esque.
Exactly.
It's just like, bam, bam. Like, kept you going.
Another big story beat throughout the night was Io Shirai and her constantly going after Raquel Gonzalez and confronting her. Raquel kept kicking her ass until the very end where, Raquel had a good match with Zoe Stark. She wins. And then,
man, she is. There's something about her.
Yeah, Zoe Stark.
I thought Zoe carried her throughout that match. Quite honestly.
Yeah. Well, that's. I'm glad you said that because I feel a little concerned about if they do put the belt on Raquel and the fact that if they don't put her in there with more experienced people than her, then she's going to wind up looking not so good.
Yeah,
mediocre at best.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
She shouldn't.
No, because Raquel, and she's had a great last 6 months, and she's had some good matches with like Rhea Ripley, but she's also been very protected with those tag matches with Dakota Kai. So I get what you're saying. She's looked very strong, but she's also been very well protected.
Zoe Starks, though, I feel like is someone once they get her new gear, and like some.
New music and
a little bit of a makeover, maybe. I don't know.
But she's got something
terrific,
really special. Like she's brand new, and she kind of shines over everyone else there.
Well, you brought up a good point. Well, one, Zoe Stark. Yeah, Zoe Stark's still wearing like her more just basic like indie gear, and that's what all new NXT signings still wear that, and then they eventually go through like a big makeover change. And we saw Io Shirai go through that. A lot of people go through that. Yeah, exactly, where they kind of change their gear and look. But Zoe Stark, over the last month, she's been in some big, high-profile matches. Yeah. She tagged with Io, took on Raquel and Dakota.
She had a match with Io.
Yeah, so she's... Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's like in the last month, she took it on some of the big names in the women's division. So they must have high praise and hopes for Zoe Stark, and she's great in the ring. I know she lost here, and people are like, oh, she just keeps losing. I'm like... She's still in these high-profile matches. It makes sense. She's the rookie compared to everyone else in the NXT system.
You got to build her up in these kind of matches in order for her to be. She's an underdog, and that's what you want, to be a babyface, to be an underdog.
Well, then also it's like, okay, sure, you lost here, but you lost to the best people in the division. It's okay by me. It's like you're still in a high-profile match, and then and then moving forward, start putting her against some lower-tier people and start building up her win-loss record.
Hey, Danny, how many times did Stone Cold beat Bret Hart?
One or
zero. He's never beat him. Did that hurt Stone Cold Steve Austin at all?
Absolutely not.
No. So
that's right. God, he lost 13 Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Canadian Stampede.
Wow. Yep. Good point. Yeah, because that's right. Because there was, for WrestleMania 14, I saw a video. There was different options for what was going to be the main event. But obviously, it was Stone Cold and Shawn. But the rumor was also maybe Brett, if he was going to stay. And I mean, that's a whole nother history thing.
Plus, Brett only beat Shawn Michaels once, and that was Survivor Series 92.
You can judge it better by how much screen time they're having. If they're getting a lot of screen time, then you're looking good. If you're getting squashed real quick, you're not. You look at what's her name?
But that's a good point that you brought up as far as, okay, sure, they're losing, but they're getting a lot of screen time. They're putting on competitive, long matches against the top tier people in that division. So Zoe Stark, I think she should be a champion within the next 2 years. I really think she easily has that. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, go back to Io. Kept confronting Raquel over and over. Raquel threw her through the wall, power bombed her, all these things, till the very end. Big melee. All the women from the roster come out, and Io Shirai jumps on all of them, stands tall. I love. She was like, yeah, shaking her head, going, all that stuff. I just like that Io. It shows that she has the will to not give up. She could take a beating, but keep coming after you. I don't know. Is there any other major observations from how Io dealt with Raquel all night?
No.
Okay.
I'm kind of like, for me with that match, I'm just ready for it. To me, there's almost too much of the build for it.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. Just give me the match.
Probably, let me see here. Maybe the last thing we could talk about. I mean, I know we saw Xia Li take on KC and Kaden Carter.
Yeah,
T and Shaw, or that's the name of their team, but Mei Ying sat in her chair still. She didn't fight.
And she gave
I found out who that is.
Who is it?
Go on.
Karen Q, who was in the Mae Young Classic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just liked how she blew smoke in Kaden Carter's face.
Well, she's giving
got her
Ming
super high.
the Haku Tongan death grip.
Yeah, but it was funny. Matt Riddle took that photo and tweeted. He's like, "Oh, come on, bro!" I guess he wanted to partake in that scenario. With the smoke in the face. So Matt Riddle tweeting out some gold right there. Let me see. Anything else major? I guess the main thing was just Johnny Gargano and the Gauntlet Eliminator.
Yeah, we could touch on that.
Yeah, that's probably the last thing. So Gargano's still very pissed off that, he has the challenge or take on the winner of that gauntlet match and has less than 24 hours to prepare. Austin Theory and him are backstage, and
still calling Regal Mr. Cuckoo Bananas.
And then Austin Theory's Gargano's like, "Dude, why are you even in this match?" And he's like, "Dude, if I win, heard of the finger poke of doom?" And he's like, "Yeah, it killed the business." Well, how? We're still here. And he's like, good point. So I think it's kind of sticking it to all the marks out there who criticized the finger poke of doom. It's like,
it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
It's heel heat. That's what's supposed to happen.
Exactly.
Oh God, they desecrated the belt.
So then, next I did the big battle royal of all 12 competitors. Very fun match. I mean, Kushida and Pete Dunne fell out of the ring holding each other.
Yeah.
Because we saw Kushida earlier tonight saying he's the best technical wrestler. Pete Dunne confronted him and says, "No, I'm the best technical wrestler." That led into the match. They fall out, still going at it. So they're going to have a separate match at TakeOver. Looking forward to that one. Austin Theory falls out of the ring. He does kip up?
Yeah, I tried like Kofi Kingston would have,
But his feet land on the ground. They're like, "Dude, you're eliminated." He's like, "Oh man, what the hell?" So,
like, no way.
It's still a very fun match. Dexter Lumis didn't really do much. He stood in the corner and watched everyone battle it out.
My favorite part during the match was LA Knight. He was staring at. Yeah.
Let me talk to you.
But you big dummy. But no, he's staring at Dexter Lumis. It reminded me, he was like staring at him like he was like a mannequin in Macy's or something like that. Or how that you can't, or like he's like looking at him like he's a mime or something like that. Or like the guards at Buckingham Palace or something like that.
It was goofy.
It was just funny, goofy moment. I thought
it was very fun battle royal. I know it's very convoluted. They had 12 guys competing in this battle royal. The final 6 are going to be in the gauntlet match, night 1 to TakeOver, and then the winner will fight Gargano the next night. And the way the last 6 guys are eliminated, that's going to be your number entry in the gauntlet on night 1 to TakeOver. So I actually kind of like how they had the graphic down below, and when the 6th guy got eliminated, they put his picture up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the final 6 are going to be Swerve Scott, Leon Ruff, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and LA Knight, who end up winning. I like how it played out. The final 3 was Dexter Lumis, LA Knight, and Cameron Grimes. He tried to bribe them and like, "Guys, let me give you some money. Jump out of the ring." But they didn't have it.
How many weeks are we away from having your taxes in?
April 15th.
Okay, so what night of the week is that?
So you think that's where he's going to lose all his money?
Yeah, I do.
Let me see. April.
That's 2 weeks.
I was going to say, it's be Thursday.
You heard it here first, folks.
Cameron Grimes going to lose his money on taxes.
IRS is coming for him.
Mike Rotunda.
That would be a great callback. Because remember,
it has to happen.
Ted DiBiase,
he's got to start calling out Ted DiBiase.
Well, Ted DiBiase, what was his faction with that IRS?
Money Incorporated.
Money Incorporated.
Yeah. So
1, 2, 3 Kid, Nikolai Volkov, Bam Bam.
Man, so no, I'm trying to think anything else
Steve
from
Austin?
NXT stood out. I think we covered all of it. It was a lot of fun. I'm super stoked for TakeOver. Cannot wait. Gonna be on Peacock and it's gonna be good, man. So, all right. So you want to power through the predictions real quick, Richard? Is that what you want to
do? It.
Okay,
go for it.
Let me see where my notes go for that NXT. I had it. There we go. Stand and deliver. Okay, so. Night number 1, Wednesday, April 7th, live on the USA Network and Peacock. Pete Dunne versus Kushida. Who you think, Richard?
I'm going for the one I want to win, and that's Kushida, because I don't like Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Cat killer. You heard it here first.
Tommy, what do you think?
Oh, I'm picking Kushida.
Yeah, I mean, Pete Dunne, he's already been kind of having some big matches. Like, Kushida is due.
He's due for a push.
I think I predicted with Philip off the air. I think I said Pete Dunne. Now I should maybe redo it and go with
You're
Kushida.
saying it on the air. It's on the record now. This is the A show anyway. This is the A show because Tommy and I are here.
I know.
Yeah.
We're the road warriors of your podcast networking.
Thank you.
Or the Steiners. What do you want to be, Tommy? You want to be the Steiners or the Road Warriors or Demolition?
Steiners.
All right. We're the you know where I'm going already, don't you? We're the demolating Steiners of doom.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I'm gonna go with Pete Dunne because I think Pete Dunne might they might try and interject him back into the main event scene, so he needs a win to kind of get that momentum
totally
going.
Went back on your go back.
That was my pick. Walter versus Ciampa.
Walter all day.
Yeah, Walter.
Walter is gonna slap so much on his chest. I mean, he's going to
slap
slap him so hard, he's going to give Ciampa a heart attack.
He's going to get Ciampa bald, make him bald again.
Chops are brutal, man.
6-man gauntlet match. So, as I said, Ruff, Swerve Scott, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and LA Knight. Who do you think is going to win? Take on Gargano.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and LA Knight. Me, I'm leaning towards Dexter Lumis because he already has history with Gargano already.
Yeah, well, picking Lumis.
The first 3 don't have any momentum.
Correct.
And I think the story with Bronson right now still goes to LA
Knight.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
So Cameron Grimes could get it, potentially.
And plus,
But heel versus heel. I think they need a baby face. And the only baby face is Leon Ruff and
Lumis.
I guess Bronson as well.
Yeah, Bronson.
So yeah, that's what I'm kind of leaning towards.
Lumis, and I think Lumis wins it.
Yeah.
Becomes new North American champion.
I could see that.
Yes.
Okay, we'll save that for 1 second. Tag titles, MSK, Grizzled Young Veterans, and Legado del Fantasma. I probably want to see MSK win, but I think they want to keep it on some heels and have MSK go on a longer journey. I think Grizzled Young Veterans are going to win.
I agree.
Me too.
Okay.
Nice.
And then main event, Io Shirai take on Raquel Gonzalez. My feeling is Raquel's probably going to win, and then Io will lose and get moved up to Raw or SmackDown.
That's how I see it.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. You got to think about the night after WrestleMania.
I'm going with Io.
Okay. All right. That's fine. My heart wants Io to win, but
me too.
I'm thinking from the business standpoint. It's like they got to... Io's done it all. Io's done it all in NXT now in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, historically though, they don't bring over, just champions. So usually like that last. What was the last batch? Was that Lace? No, that was 2 years ago or 3. I don't know. I get what you're saying.
It doesn't necessarily have to be champions that get called up. It could be just someone that's really good on the roster, mid card, whatever it is.
For me, I just don't think that Raquel's ready.
I totally see what you're saying. I understand.
Like if you, even if this was Mercedes Martinez, who's not featured on NXT, I would say it'd be Mercedes Martinez just for experience.
I mean, I will say Raquel, but like hypothetically, if Io does win, who does dethrone her then? I mean, maybe Toni Storm gets back.
I think Toni Storm could still. I think Toni Storm still has a chance to get that.
So so many questions, man, to see how this plays out. So we'll see. Night number 2. So as I mentioned earlier, Gargano, Austin were backstage talking. Also, Candice and Indy Hartwell were also back there, and they challenge Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon for a women's tag title match. And Ember Moon, Shotzi accepted, shot the cannon at them. So yes, it's going to happen. Part of me is Candice LeRae has lost so many title opportunities. I can't see her losing another one.
I can, just because she's in a comedic heel role right now. So her, as long as her character is strong, which it is, but that's kind of the appeal with the way, is that there's so much talk with the way and not a whole lot of backing up, which is kind of like, it's great that Johnny Gargano got the belt because it's just kind of, he's just been a kind of a loser champion. You know what I mean?
Right. God. This thing, if I pick the way though, and then Amber and Shotzi have a really short title reign, and that's three sets of champions in less than or over a month that those tag titles have been in existence.
And does it seem like Indy is the most focused right now?
No,
I mean she loves Dexter Lumis.
Exactly.
I'm picking Amber Moon and Shotzi Blackheart.
Yep.
All right, I'll go Ember Moon, Shotzi as well. Next up, the Cat, Jordan Devlin taking on Santos Escobar.
The catnip kid.
NXT Cruiserweight Championship, a ladder match, which, Rich, I know you weren't on last week, but Shawn Michaels came out, grabbed the ladder, threw it in the ring as a sign of like, here you guys go. You
settle it this way.
If you're going to unify titles, you got to do it in a ladder match, calling out him and Scott Hall, WrestleMania 10. My thinking is that NXT Cruiserweight, it needs to stay in America, especially with 205 Live. So I think Santos Escobar is going to win.
Yeah.
I'm picking Santos.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, I like Jordan Devlin, his work in the ring. I don't know if he can stay long-term in America.
Hope not.
Or if he's going to be just still devoted to NXT UK, but I don't see the NXT Cruiserweight going back overseas again. Even though Jordan Devlin didn't really get to have a long title reign as champion, I think Santos Escobar is a better heel champion and therefore should win here. All right, Johnny Gargano taking on the Gauntlet Eliminator winner. So I think all of us said Dexter Lumis.
Dexter.
Do you think Dexter could be the new North American champion?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to put him to sleep.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Gargano, NXT, Mr. Takeover, Johnny Takeover wins again. If
Lumis beat him, that would kind of end their feud finally, right? Mm-hmm. But if Johnny retains, then it most likely it's going to be Lumis chasing.
Yeah. So
are they going to keep chasing for how many more months? Because this has been going on for already 2 or 3 months, right?
One little thing. Part of me why I think Jordan Devlin would win is he stays here and works at NXT Prime. And then Santos Escobar, I would like to see him move on up to the North American title scene.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool for him.
They're not going to do a heel versus heel. Then you'd have to say Lumis would have to win.
Yeah.
Then it'd be Lumis and Escobar. By the way, he is a really good promo.
Oh, Escobar. Santos, absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like if you want to, if people are confused as to why Andrade got released or granted his release, compare Andrade's promo to Escobar.
Yeah.
It's day and night.
Santos is amazing on the microphone, just what he's been doing.
Really good. Like, not even for a foreigner. Like, he's really good compared to, like,
a lot of people.
Promos.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Gargano still. All right. Adam Cole take on Kyle O'Reilly. Now, very similar to, like, Io and Raquel as far as my thinking process. I could see Kyle wins and Adam loses and then gets bumped over to Raw or SmackDown. I think this has been the exit plan for Adam Cole to get off NXT for a while now. That's what I'm thinking. I think Kyle's going to win, get the big baby face win, and then Adam Cole loses and officially moves on over to Raw or SmackDown. So that's what my thinking is as well. Roderick Strong is a factor as well, wild card. I don't know, Tommy, what are you kind of thinking about this?
I could see Kyle O'Reilly winning, and I could see if Adam Cole goes to the main roster, I'd rather see him go to SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown would probably be a better show for him.
Right. So that's how I see it.
What about you, Richard? What are your heart thinking? Your mind or your heart?
My heart is thinking that there's no holes in your analysis, so I'm going to go with Kyle O'Reilly.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like Kyle's probably also going to be a top guy for NXT going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I agree.
If he can get a win over a top guy, I mean, even if Adam wins and goes away, I think Kyle's still going to look good and he's still going to be a top guy. So, but I feel like it's going to be Kyle because we're not going to get a rematch anytime soon.
Yeah.
If Adam leaves.
Last but not least, I think, Tommy, you and I both know what Richard's answered is already.
Oh, yeah.
But Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship against Karrion Kross. Scarlett will be out there. Scarlett, by the way, new little haircut. Got the bangs haircut going. Looking good, right, Richard? So...
I see the heart emoji up there.
All right. What are you thinking, man, for this
It's a no-brainer for him.
You know what I'm thinking.
Okay, so there were rumors that Karrion Kross went to Tropicana Field and met with Vince privately. So I don't know if Vince wants...
Did you see a photo?
I mean, it's just rumors. I mean, of course.
It's dirt sheet rumors, yeah.
So does Karrion Kross lose here and gets called up to Raw or SmackDown as well?
I think Finn Balor's getting called up because I heard an interview with him recently where he was saying that he was only supposed to be in NXT for a year.
Yeah, and it's been like a year and a half now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever loses this, I think it's going to move over to Raw or SmackDown. That's what I think.
Yeah, for sure. But the problem now is if Kross wins, who beats Kross? There's no one in his size or his league. I guess you could have Kyle at some point.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, I could see Kross winning. That way they can pick up the story that they were trying to tell last year before he got injured.
But the way WWE works, from what I've heard, is that they typically, when something like that, someone gets hurt like that, that storyline is gone forever for them. Like, they don't hold on to it and put it in their back pocket for later. Okay. WWE is done with that.
Okay.
The time has passed. The mood has changed. So, I mean, damn, because it was at a spot where they still had Dijakovic and he could have been elevated back then, but I'm just saying, if Kross loses, goes to Raw, Dominic Dijakovic, Retribution just broke up. Maybe he can go back as Dominic. And do you want to see Kyle and Balor 3?
I mean, yeah, they're both left there, huh?
Yeah.
I want something different. I want Kyle and Karrion Kross. That's what I want.
And then Pete Dunne could be also on the outside looking in as well. I
mean, there's the chance of Walter coming over,
Walter versus
winning
Kross.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god,
that would be
badass.
Oh, yeah, that would be just.
There's so many possibilities. Okay, I think I said Finn to Phil off the air. I might have to go change Karrion Kross, just because I think Finn, his presence, he's probably due to go back to Raw or SmackDown.
There's also rumors that Harry Smith is coming back to WWE. Davey Boy Smith Jr.
I can see that. He's the Hall of Fame and stuff with his dad.
You could throw into the mix with NXT. That would be an appropriate fit to dethrone someone like a Karrion Kross, or you just put him on the main roster.
Yeah, he's a good veteran at this point now with his history.
So there's a lot to look at, but I'm going with Kross still all day, unless there is the chance. Balor cut that promo about channeling your rage and your emotions,
being sloppy,
like that. That could be a decoy, and we get the Demon, and we know that Balor's never lost as the Demon.
Yeah,
but I think that promo is saying that's why the Demon has been around. He's been able to control his emotions.
Yeah, but we've also not even heard him mention the Demon in how long? It's been like 2 years since we've seen the Demon. Is that a red
Bray
herring?
Wyatt. It was Bray Wyatt, right? Was it the last one?
They didn't have that match.
Oh, that's right. He got sick. Bray got sick that
so
time.
we got AJ and Finn, which was amazing. But I mean, I think it could be a decoy and we get the demon, but I'm guessing no.
All right, I can see Cross winning. Finn's had a really good title reign in this time period. And then Kyle O'Reilly can be booked up as the next guy to challenge Karrion Kross as a baby face.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see how it goes. So much to get into. Looking forward to NXT TakeOver Stand Deliver both nights next week. We will do our review, so please subscribe to us, and you'll be the first to see that notification when it gets uploaded. All right, let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. Richard, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Pro Wrestling 101, and on Twitter you can send your hate mail to at BabyHuey83.
Hate tweets.
Hate tweets. Send your most vile and angry thoughts about professional wrestling there, and I think that's it for me.
Tommy, how about you?
You can always find me on Twitter and Instagram at IronFist1982.
I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram, as Richard kindly announced, at Baby Huey 83. In the Kliq on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well. Subscribe, follow us there. Click the link in our bio, get the merch. Subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, including YouTube. And In the Kliq.
Rate, review, and subscribe.
Yes, In the Kliq at gmail.com. All that good stuff. All right, Kliqsters. On that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.